What's going on today, everybody? Today we're going to go over what I would have done differently after spending roughly 20,000 plus in mods for my STI. And I know there's going to be a few comments of people saying that I was stupid for spending that kind of money on a STI and whatever have you, whatnot. Yeah, it probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world, but at the end of the day, I enjoy it. Just something, it's a hobby for me to do. So I could be doing worse things, I guess. So first things first, one of the directions I would have not went is in the suspension department. Got a bigger front sway bar on here. I got it as part of a package deal, put it on there, and after driving it for probably a year or better now, I don't really care for it so much. My understanding is the front sway bars obviously don't really do a whole lot for the STIs. If anything, it makes the handling a little bit worse. The rear sway bars where the real magic is, I guess you could say. So I'll probably remove the bigger front sway bar and put the OEM back on there. I do have Cartboy end links on the front. I'll probably leave those on there and replace it with the OEM sway. But that's one thing that I would have done differently. Another is I wouldn't have got a bigger top mount for my current setup. I would have stuck with the OEM top mount, just for simple reason is, as far as fitment goes, the OEM obviously fits great. The bigger one, it's a little bit of a pain in the hind end to get on and off there, and the way this bracket is over here on this side, kind of had to do some rigging over here to get it to work. And at the end of the day, the VA intercooler, top mount intercooler, I mean, Killer Bee's been getting great power out of it for quite some time. And for my setup currently, that would have been probably an optimal decision for me. So that was about $700-800 I could have saved altogether on that deal if I'd have just stuck with the stock top mount. For my setup right here, it's just a little Cobb 20G at the moment. But that's another thing that I would have done differently for my current setup, is I should have probably went with the Dominator 1.5 or the 2.5 turbo from Blausch. If I'd have known what I know now, especially with the way the green speed update from Cobb would have rolled out, and would kind of lock me in at the moment, I would have probably went with a little bit more power than the 20G could give me. At the time, I was just looking for something to go over stock, make it more fun, and have that real good punchy feel that I like to have out here in the mountains. So that's why I went with the 20G, and it was a Cobb product, so if I ever did resell it, it'd probably be an easy sell for me. So another little issue I probably would have done would have been the Cobb turbo inlet. I probably would have got the Killer Bee hard pipe. I just don't like the design or the way this one fits. It's kind of a little bit wonky, I guess you could say. It's I know you can't tell. I have a turbo inlet video, but it's kind of squished a little bit. It doesn't collapse or anything because I'm not really pushing it, but it's I just don't think the way it fits in here, and I'm running spacers on the intake manifold, and it still squishes down, so just not a really good fitment overall on the turbo inlet. I liked the SF intake, the carbon SF intake, but looking back on it, probably just should have got a normal SF intake. Could have saved a little bit of coin there. I don't really regret it, so to speak, but I'm not a big flashy underhood mod guy, and at the time I was like, man, that thing looks sweet. I was just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, probably could have saved $300 or so just by going the normal route. But other than that, that's really about all the things that I have that I would have done differently. So all told, I probably could have saved $2,500, $2,000 or so off the total cost. Everything else lines up pretty well with what I wanted. Maybe could have went with an external wastegate setup. At the time, I was trying to stay within the confines of trying to keep it somewhat legal, I guess you could say. even though in my state, you know, the emissions aren't really a thing. So, you know, down the road, thinking I've got some good plans coming up. Hopefully I can do something a little different and maybe get a little different setup. At the end of the day, I'd like to be in the, I don't know, let's say 450 to 550 wheel range. But I'll make another video about all those details later. A little video, things I would have done differently. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. I'll catch you in the next one.